Peace and blessings to all of God's children on this supernatural Saturday. Normally, at this time, I do a live on YouTube, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. And today, I was having some technical difficulties. I went on the live, I couldn't see none of the input given by the community. So I said, let me shut it down. This ain't number God telling me to come over here, and that whatever it is for me to do, I'm gonna do it on this video. To all praises be to the Most High. I'm coming to you today, the book of John, book of John, chapter 1. And I'm gonna read verses 1 through 5. Then I'm going all the way down to John same chapter 1, verses 45 through 51. And let me note that I'm titling this particular video, it's the darkest of nights. This is what our elders teach us, when I was coming up as a child. Said, son, it's the darkest of night, just before the break of dawn. To say, when things are looking the worst, there's time for us to remember there's light on the other side. Because I declare and decree in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, the Christos, the Christ, is the light of this young world. Okay? Now, John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. A lot of you Bible readers, a lot of people just in general are so familiar with this. Verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, with God, and was God. So the character of God is established in this first verse. Was with God as an adjective, and was God as a noun. You see how this thing is working? Alpha, Omega, beginning, okay. Verse 2, the same was in the beginning with God. There's a third time. So all beginnings, which is the book Genesis, in Hebrew is Bereshith. That's what that means, the book of beginnings, okay? Number 3, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So here is God showing you in his character that the beginning of all things created began with God. This is why God is the best of knowers. He's created all things. I don't care how your mental psychological setup is that you reject this or that. God says if it's anything created, it came across my desk first. Verse 4, in him was life, and life was the light of men. I gotta read that again. Verse 4, in him, John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. This is verse 4, and I'm going on repeat. And him was life, and life was the light of men. The light of men is the light we use to focus on that which is in this physical manifest world. That's why I said light of men. Men is connotative to that which identifies itself with the material manifest created world. Now, in him was life, and the life was the life of the men. Men and women who are focused in the manifest creation are chiefly concerned with how can they improve that quality of their life. That has nothing to do with their mental or spiritual pursuits, okay? Verse 5, and the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. I'm saying this through what I'm trying to get across in this particular video. The light shined in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. That darkness is the darkness that's inside of us. We are focusing on the outside, trying to identify our spiritual and our mental states. It ain't gonna happen. The measurements we use in the manifest creative world don't work in the mental or the spiritual worlds. All right. Now, creative intelligence. What is creative intelligence? Creative intelligence is the oldest. It's described in the ancient Comedian doctrines as the Metu Neter. The Metu Neter consists of various signs and symbols. Signs and symbols are used for the condensed form of our minds looking outward rather than in us. See, the light of Christ is what illuminates the darkness in us and guides us in spirit and in truth. Now, John chapter 1, verses 45 through 51 is not the same as what I just read, and that's why I jumped down here like this. We see here's something else that I want to talk about. You know, how the darkness and what it takes to get us out of the darkness is Christ. Okay. This is John chapter 1, verses 45 through 51. This is King James Version of the Bible. Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him, talking about Christ, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Now, Nathanael, who goes on to become one of the disciples, apostles, what have you, he's a perfect example of the character of one who is focused outside. Watch what comes with this. Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, come and see. We have that right now operating in our character when people say, oh, him? You talking about so-and-so? Used to go with so-and-so? Is the brother of so-and-so? Oh, they immediately go back to that and they won't allow you to grow or change or any of that. They'll say, oh, I know him. Do you? Do you know him? You ain't seen this person for 20, 30, 40 years. Haven't been in their presence. Don't know the thing. You know their name, but you don't know their story. All right? So it was the same thing going on there. He said, man, them people down there, come on, man. And we got all this and this divisiveness now. Rather than us finding ways to sit down like civilized human beings, put all our little petty differences to the side. You don't put your pettiness away until you see a greater good. One more time, you ain't put your pettiness away. And when I say pettiness, I'm talking about our focus on ourselves, because it ain't about us. It's about our service to what we worship God, Christ, however you want to call him. So I ain't going to stop at no labels and no names. I don't want to limit you. Even the atheists, they got to maintain discipline to do what they do. Let's just make it real easy on everybody. At this table here, we can sit here if we're going to deal with truth. And I'm not talking about relative truth. I'm talking about absolute truth. Truth that can be substantiated on different levels of not only understanding, but understanding and overstanding. You got to have an overview of what you're getting ready to do, if you're getting ready to do something. See, now, if you're all in other folks' business, telling them about their mistakes, then it's obvious you're not doing nothing in life. Okay, let's go back here. Here's the kicker right here. Verse 47. Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and saith unto him, behold, an Israelite. Christ already done. You know, behold an Israelite, indeed, in whom is no guilt. So Christ is already ready. So he's giving them his, salutation and everything, greeting them on it. But he already know. I know your thoughts of me, but I'm not accepting. I'm not allowing them to enter into my spirit. Come over here. I'm gonna make this a teachable moment. All right. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Jesus answered him and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. All right. That's what Philip was at when he was called, and to say, hey, this is the one from Moses, whatever. Okay. Nathanael answered, said unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel. So Nathanael, through the presence, and the presence including him meeting him, being in that, and actually, he said, now. Yes, so, them statements about nothing good coming out of Nazareth, that's off the table now, okay. Jesus answered and said unto him, Because I said unto thee, I saw thee on the fig tree, believest thou, thou shalt see greater things than these. So Christ, all throughout the New Testament, when people went to really questioning who he was, he said he didn't go over there and give no 2-hour speech. He would just demonstrate through his miracles or just, that's who Christ was saying. This is who I am right here. I am of that which allows me to do this. And that's my question here today. Do we question ourselves? Do we keep our word to ourselves? Yeah, we come up with a lot of great ideas, but what is our steps into being effective with what we say? That's what creative intelligence is. Creative intelligence is diagnosing yourself and saying, okay, this is what I need. Now, once you start doing it, that's when everything attached to you will get an opportunity to see what faith and truth is. It ain't got to be no conversation around. Faith and truth has to be seen so people can catch it in the spirit. That's why creative intelligence, as the metunelia, the hieroglyphics that the Greeks call it, they were pictograms. Those pictures conveyed things into your spirit so you can get back into who God created you to be. See, a lot of us have issues with the fact that the programming that's been placed on us has caused us to be not what we think ourselves to be. See, that's the awakening. I know that word woke is being abused in this time and in these seasons, but we have become comfortable in the devil's house. Dr. Martin Luther King said this right before his assassination, April 4th, 1968. He said, I'm afraid, and you can check this out. I searched this. I want you to research it. He said, I'm afraid I have led my people into a burning house. Now, don't get it twisted. History will reveal to you who the devil is. Dr. King, as long as he was controlling, they call us Negroes then. All right. As long as that was all right. But when Dr. King started talking about that Vietnam War, that military industrial complex, see, wars necessarily cost a lot of money in it. That's why they call it the military industrial complex. That's what and Dr. King realized this as he got up in there with him. He said, oh no, I done led my people up in here. These people ain't thinking about nothing but money, and they ain't thinking about people. They're thinking about increasing their wealth, and you know what? And that's why he made the statement. He said, I'm afraid I have led my people into a burning house. Dr. King. I mean, that's a doctrinal statement. He said, I'm afraid I have. And he only realized it. So this doesn't take away from, see, that's what happened. These people are wizards and warlocks into using people to enhance and support their agenda that has absolutely nothing to do with humanitarian, moral, or let's just say the will of God. That their agenda is other than God. So, but we're led to believe, oh, these people, no. They are magicians, like the magicians Pharaoh had. Moses had to go in there with the truth. And see, it's the truth now. This is why we must sit at a table. We must find ways to sit at a table and not worry about who trying to steal, who's thundering, and all this. Put all that to the side. Sit straight in our chairs, keep our backbone straight, look each other in the eye, and connect with one another and speak in terms of truth. You know, things are going to happen. And rather than taking these things personal, we got to ask ourselves, why is God giving me these lessons for me to imbibe? And then we can get fruit from scriptures such as Psalm 46:10, which says, be still and know that I am God. That speaks directly to us that our thinking sometimes clouds our vision, that we can't see where our blessings are. Because see, one thing about God ain't petty. God gonna go out of his way through long suffering to give you what he got for you. But you got to be able to recognize the road you got to travel to get to it. He wants you to earn it. He wants you to have a sense of pride and confidence and strengthen yourself. Increase your faith. You know, he wants you to remember him and be close to him. Because the closer you get with him, he ain't gonna let nothing sneak up on you. But see, we have these trials and tribulations. We get caught up in things. But see, we have to have discipline to keep our focus and our prayer and our praise in God. It requires discipline. That means doing it not because it's convenient or not because you don't want to do it. It's because God said do it. See, like I said, God is not petty. We want to deal with things with convenience. God is a God of quality, not quantity. See, this is how we miss his blessings a lot of times. We look for quantity. Yesterday, I had an experience I need to share with you. I was out taking care of some things, and I ran into this grandmother. She had a grandbaby with a little boy, and we were standing there, and they was carrying on like grandmothers, and it's a little small kid. It couldn't have been 2 years old. Just he's been walking good, maybe 1 or 2. And while we were talking, he pulled away from his grandmother and came over, and he couldn't. It was just high as my leg. He grabbed and hugged my leg. He didn't want to let go. I mean, that you can't place no value on that for a child. Just come up, never seen me nowhere, and just came up and wanted to embrace me like that. See, that's the blessings. That's the quality I seek in life now. I want to be able to teach the children. I want the children to see in my character something that they can emulate. No, I ain't trying to make nobody my image, my likeness, but I want them to see the truth that comes through my spirit through the things, the challenges, the tribulations. See, this is how you turn your misery into medicine. Let it be a healing to others. Take it, it ain't about us. God's agape love is the only thing. The more you give away, the greater your capacity to receive. So take that into your spirit. I pray you have a blessed day. And yeah, shameless plug, this is my niece. She's got an organization down in Maryville, Tennessee. I'm supporting her today. She's going. We all on the battlefield. But remember, we know what we need to be dressed in our armor, the breastplate. I mean, it's in Ephesians. We know where it's at. Be mindful of that because we're involved. And it ain't a matter of you saying you in something or not. We're all in it down here. So let's try to find a space where we can speak to each other out of love and have open demonstrations so that people can see that it is possible for us to sit down and do things. Nothing is impossible if we're walking with Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. I pray something come out here to bless you richly. One love, one aim, one destiny, peace and blessings. And always remember whose you are and who you are. One love.